Exodus just dropped an extended first look at some gameplay, and honestly, it's looking pretty damn good. The new IP Sci-Fi game from former Mass Effect devs is looking, well, a whole lot like Mass Effect. I know that's completely shocking. The footage is just under 2 minutes, and we start with a look at some of the cover combat, with one of our companions, Elise, laying down some cover fire, just blowing everything the hell up. From there, we run straight to the next bit of cover, firing at will. It looks like you might be aiming here rather than locking on, but it's a bit hard to tell. It could even be a soft lock mechanic, something you see often when you have shooters that have controllers. We get a little Mass Effect style radial window weapon swap and blast someone straight in the face at a range where even I imagine I couldn't miss. The UI is still a work in progress, and there's a lot of stuff going on here, but we do seem to have a lot of options. And you can also see from the UI that this is definitely being shot from a person that is using a controller, leading credence to that idea of that soft lock on the shooting. But for our companions, we could use an energy siphon ultimate from Tom, as well as a cryo bomb attack. For Elise, we have a micro missile barrage ultimate and a knockdown missile attack, all 4 of which look like we can activate ourselves. There's also an option to craft more ammo mid-fight. That along with the ability to, of course, swap out weapons. Overall, the combat looks fun and frenetic, very Mass Effect, but with some updates. The animations are pretty damn slick, and the use of cover right down to the little shield insignias has me excited for the stop-and-go adrenaline gunplay rather than just charging straight in. On the official website, explains that this is an early fight on the outskirts of Lyonesse, where the positioning is very important. I think it's kind of important to point out here that this is early combat that they're showing, because there is kind of, I guess, what you'd consider like a magic sort of thing or a biotic sort of thing that they've already told us about called the Orion's Gauntlet that we'll get later in the game, assuming, because it's again early. And it's something that looks like you'll be able to add more stuff and you'll be able to customize it as you get later in the game and add more powers and stuff to add some spice, I guess, to the combat. At least that's what I hope. And that's, I would hope, one of the things that they show us a little bit of as we get more gameplay footage, more combat footage as we go on. I know they don't like to show everything, but seeing some of that would, I think, be really freaking cool. The next scene is a space tower above Lyonesse showing a bit of the traversal mechanics and calming us all down a little bit. At first, I was feeling that little calm atmosphere and the really nice calming music, loving the beauty of the planet and the game, but oh my freaking god, I don't know if it's just me, but when June started walking out on that tiny little platform, I started getting some damn vertigo. I also couldn't help but wonder, like, what happens if you fall? Can you fall? Did they animate a cutscene if you fall? Do you fall all the way down? Do you burn? The movement looks better than I expected, but I don't really think it's incredible or anything. This isn't Jedi Fallen Order, but it doesn't have to be. I get the feeling from the clip here that traversal will feel fun and rewarding, but it's not going to be the reason you play the game. But let's be completely honest here, the reason why most of us are going to be playing this game are going to be guns, spaceships, alien smooches, talking frogs, and completely and utterly devastating storylines. Dangling from wires in space is just a bonus. It ends with a brief clip showing June entering an ancient shrine on somewhere called Khonsu. The website tells us that this shrine is celestial in design, and this is where the gameplay footage ends, with the promise of extended gameplay footage in the summer. In addition to the promise of more footage, the write-up on the website outlines a bit more of what to expect in 2026 from Exodus. From now through early summer, we will continue to get short gameplay clips showing combat encounters, traversal interactions, and environments. In the summer proper, we'll get that longer gameplay showcase that shows continuous footage with moment-to-moment gameplay including combat, conversations, and in-mission choices. We've seen snippets of conversations in the earlier gameplay trailer, but they were cinematics. I'm really looking forward to seeing these actual in-game interactions beyond those. I want to know what the game feels like with your companions when you're playing, and not just flashes of clips. One of the things you might have noticed in this footage that they showed is only the first combat clip actually included the companions. After the summer, they're going to be going through deep dive spotlights on companions, romance, the RPG hub of Persepolis, choices and consequences, role-playing mechanics, and the game's signature, time dilation, all in the months before launch. Exodus was delayed from 2026 to 2027, but it sounds like they're really gearing up for the release next year. Now, I'm personally super excited about this game. It is one of the games that I am the most excited about. I was really hoping to get it in 2026, but now that it's slipped to 2027, it's probably become my most anticipated game for 2027, but there's obviously a lot of great games in 2026, so I'm not that upset about it. But there is another fantastic sci-fi game coming out that you might also be interested in called The Expanse: Osiris Reborn, and that is coming from Owlcat Games. And because both of these games are looking a whole lot like Mass Effect, I made this video right here to kind of go over the differences between the two games. So check that out if you want to see what some of the differences are and some of the similarities. My name is Red Flame. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and I will see you all soon.